Your cat is trying to tell you something. Your cat has probably done this before, and at the time, you did not realize how strange the moment actually was. You walk into your bedroom and find a toy carefully placed near your pillow. A sock appears in the middle of the hallway for no reason. A crumpled piece of paper suddenly shows up beside your feet. Some cats even go further and leave insects, feathers, or tiny objects directly where their owners cannot miss them. Most people laugh and assume their cat is simply being playful or weird. But researchers who study feline behavior explain that these moments may reveal something much deeper happening inside your cat's mind. Cats are extremely intentional animals. Even when their behavior looks random, there is often an emotional or instinctive reason behind it. Specialists in animal behavior observed that domestic cats still preserve communication patterns inherited from their wild ancestors. The difference is that now, instead of communicating only with other cats, they are trying to communicate with humans too. And the frightening part is how subtle they do it. Your cat cannot explain emotions with words. It cannot sit beside you and tell you it feels attached to you, trusts you, misses you, or sees you as part of its social world. So it uses behavior instead. Tiny actions, silent rituals, repeated habits that most owners overlook every single day. And one of the strongest examples of this may be the gifts they bring. Think carefully about what usually happens after your cat drops one of these objects near you. Many cats do not simply walk away, they stop and stare. Some sit quietly waiting for your reaction. Others circle around you or look between your face and the object over and over again. Experts explain that cats constantly observe human body language and emotional responses. They notice tone of voice, eye contact, movement, and attention. In many cases, your reaction becomes part of the ritual itself. This is what makes the behavior so fascinating. Your cat may not care about the object as much as it cares about the emotional interaction that follows. Studies about feline attachment have shown that cats form selective emotional bonds, meaning they choose specific humans as emotional references. They feel safer around certain people. They seek comfort from certain people. And sometimes, they perform behaviors that are reserved only for those they trust deeply. That means your cat could leave these objects anywhere inside the house. But instead, it chooses your room, your bed, your chair, or directly beside you. That choice matters more than most people realize. Researchers also noticed that some cats increase this behavior during emotional changes inside the home. Moving houses, changes in routine, loneliness, stress, or reduced interaction with the owner can intensify these gift-giving habits. In other words, these objects may not only represent instinct, they may also reveal emotional needs your cat cannot express any other way. And once you begin understanding this, the behavior stops looking random completely. Because maybe your cat is not just carrying objects around the house. Maybe your cat is trying to include you in its world in the only way it knows how, the instinct that never disappeared. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that domestic cats abandoned their wild instincts the moment they started living inside homes. They see a cat sleeping on soft blankets, eating from a bowl every day, and quietly staring through windows, and they assume those ancient survival behaviors disappeared long ago. But specialists in feline psychology explain something fascinating. The modern house cat may look comfortable and peaceful, yet deep inside, many of its strongest instincts are still completely active. That includes the instinct to hunt, carry, protect, and even share resources. Researchers who studied feline behavior observed that cats do not hunt only because of hunger. Hunting is deeply connected to stimulation, emotional satisfaction, territorial awareness, and social behavior. Even cats that are perfectly fed continue chasing moving objects, attacking toys, stalking insects, and carrying things in their mouths. The instinct itself never disappeared. It simply adapted to a new environment. And this is where most people misunderstand the meaning behind those strange gifts. When your cat brings you an object, your cat is often acting through an ancient behavioral pattern that once had a very important social purpose. In wild feline groups, experienced cats sometimes carried prey back to safer areas or around younger members. Scientists explained that this behavior was not always about feeding. Sometimes it was about interaction, teaching, protection, or reinforcing social bonds inside the group. Part of your cat's brain still operates through those same emotional mechanisms today. That is why many cats do not simply play with an object alone, they bring it directly to a human they trust. Sometimes they even vocalize loudly while carrying it, almost announcing their arrival. Specialists believe this vocal behavior may happen because the cat enters an emotionally heightened state during the carrying ritual. In that moment, your cat is not only focused on the object, your cat is focused on sharing an experience. And the emotional difference between hunting and offering is enormous. A cat that kills purely for survival behaves differently from a cat that intentionally places something near a trusted human. Researchers noticed that many domestic cats carefully choose where they leave objects. Beds, couches, doorways, shoes, and personal belongings are common locations because these areas carry strong human scent and emotional association. Your cat is not simply dropping random things. Your cat is linking the object to you. What makes this even more emotional is the fact that indoor cats still experience unfinished hunting cycles. Experts explain that the feline brain was designed to complete sequences, stalk, chase, capture, carry, and present. Even when there is no real prey involved, the instinct still demands expression. That is why toys often become substitutes for hunting rituals inside modern homes. But when your cat brings those objects directly to you, the behavior becomes more than instinct alone. It becomes social. And that may explain why some cats look almost disappointed when owners ignore the gift completely. Because from the cat's perspective, the interaction was never meaningless. Something ancient inside your cat believed it was sharing part of its world with someone important. Even after thousands of years living beside humans, that instinct never truly disappeared. It simply found a new family to protect. The instinct that never disappeared? Most people think domestication erased the wild side of cats. They look at a cat stretched across a couch, sleeping peacefully for hours, waiting for food in a clean bowl every morning, and assume those ancient instincts disappeared centuries ago. But scientists who study feline behavior explain something very different. The domestic cat may live inside your house, but its brain still carries survival patterns shaped thousands of years ago. Beneath the calm appearance of a modern pet, there is still a highly instinctive animal silently interpreting the world through hunting, territory, social connection, and emotional association. That is why even the gentlest house cat still stalks moving shadows, attacks dangling strings, hides behind furniture before pouncing, or suddenly sprints through the house late at night for no visible reason. Those behaviors are not random bursts of energy. They are echoes of instincts that never disappeared. And one of the strongest instincts cats still preserve is the need to complete what experts call the hunting sequence. Researchers observed that cats are neurologically driven to follow a pattern: observe, stalk, chase, capture, carry, and present. In the wild, this sequence helped felines survive. But inside modern homes, where there is no real need to hunt for food, the instinct still exists with nowhere to go. So the cat adapts. A toy mouse becomes prey. A sock becomes prey. A paper ball becomes prey. Sometimes even leaves, hair ties, or small objects become part of this emotional ritual. But what confuses most owners is not the hunting itself. It is the moment the cat brings the object directly to them. Because at that point, the behavior stops being only instinctive and starts becoming social. Studies about feline social behavior reveal that cats are far more relational than people once believed. For years, many humans assumed cats were emotionally distant animals that only tolerated human presence for comfort and food. But modern behavioral research completely changed that view. Specialists observed that cats create attachment patterns, emotional routines, and social rituals with trusted humans. They learn emotional meanings associated with specific people inside the home, and that changes everything about the way you should interpret these gifts. Your cat is not accidentally dropping objects near you. In many cases, your cat is intentionally bringing them into your personal space because your scent, your voice, and your presence became emotionally significant inside its world. Some scientists believe this behavior may even connect to ancient feline caregiving instincts. In nature, experienced cats sometimes carried prey back towards safer areas or younger members of their group, not only for feeding, but also for social learning and bond reinforcement. Domestic cats may no longer live in those environments, but the emotional architecture behind the behavior still remains active. That is why many cats vocalize while carrying objects. Some walk through the house meowing loudly before dropping something at their owner's feet. Others proudly carry toys with their tails raised high. Experts explain that these body language signals often indicate emotional excitement and social intention. Your cat is not hiding the behavior. Your cat wants you to notice it, and the location matters too. Researchers observed that cats frequently leave objects in emotionally charged places: beds, shoes, couches, office chairs, doorways, or directly beside sleeping owners. Those locations are deeply connected to human scent and emotional familiarity. To your cat, these areas are not random parts of the house, they are extensions of you. That changes the meaning completely, because suddenly, the object itself becomes secondary. The real message is hidden inside the act of bringing it to you. And this is why some cats appear confused or disappointed when owners immediately throw the object away or react with irritation. From the human perspective, it may look like meaningless behavior, but from the cat's perspective, something emotionally important just happened. Your cat completed an instinctive ritual and attempted to share the result with someone it trusts. Even after thousands of years beside humans, the feline mind still carries ancient survival instincts that continue shaping everyday behavior inside modern homes. The difference is that now, instead of surviving beside other wild cats, your cat may see you as part of the group it wants to protect, include, and emotionally connect with. Why your cat chooses you specifically. One detail changes the entire meaning behind this behavior, and most people never stop to think about it. Your cat could leave those objects anywhere in the house, under the couch near the food bowl, hidden in a corner. But instead, your cat walks directly toward you. Sometimes it leaves the object on your bed, sometimes beside your shoes, sometimes directly at your feet while you are distracted doing something else. And according to specialists in feline behavior, that choice is almost never accidental. Cats do not connect emotionally with every human in the same way. Researchers studying feline attachment discovered that cats create selective emotional bonds, very similar to the attachment patterns seen in children and even dogs. Certain humans become emotional reference points inside the cat's world. These are the people the cat follows more often, sleeps near, watches closely, and seeks during moments of stress or vulnerability. And once a cat emotionally chooses someone, its behavior begins to change in subtle ways most owners never notice. Many cats develop private rituals with their favorite human. Some greet only one person at the door, some sleep only beside one specific person every night. Others expose their belly, slow blink, or vocalize differently depending on who they are interacting with. Experts explain that cats constantly evaluate safety, trust, predictability, and emotional comfort before fully relaxing around someone. That is why bringing objects directly to you can become such an intimate behavior. Because, from your cat's perspective, you are no longer just another creature inside the house. You became emotionally important. Scientists observed that cats tend to perform gift-giving behaviors more frequently toward humans they trust deeply. The cat is not simply transporting an object, it is creating an interaction. In many cases, your cat wants acknowledgement, participation, or emotional response from the specific person it feels connected to. And the way cats choose these humans is fascinating. It is not always the loudest person, the one who feeds them most, or the person constantly trying to pick them up. Studies suggest that cats often bond more intensely with people who respect their boundaries, respond calmly to their signals, and create predictable emotional environments. In other words, your cat may trust you because your presence feels emotionally safe. That emotional safety becomes part of the reason your cat brings things to you. Some behavioral specialists believe these gifts may function as a form of social offering. Not because cats think like humans, but because they naturally use shared experiences to strengthen relationships. When your cat carries something across the house and leaves it near you, part of its instinctive brain may be reinforcing connection through participation. And this explains why many cats stay nearby after dropping the object. They are not abandoning it randomly. They are waiting. Waiting to see if you notice. Waiting to see if you respond. Waiting to see if the interaction becomes shared. Researchers observe that cats pay extraordinary attention to human reactions. Tiny facial changes, voice tone, eye movement, and body posture all influence how cats interpret social situations. Your cat may not understand human language, but it understands emotional energy surprisingly well. That is why your reaction matters more than you think. When a cat repeatedly brings objects to the same person, it often means that human became emotionally significant inside the cat's internal social structure. Too many cats, this behavior is not only instinctive, it is relational. And maybe that is the strangest part of all. Because while humans often see cats as independent creatures that simply coexist beside them, many cats quietly spend years building emotional rituals that say the opposite. Your cat did not choose you randomly. And sometimes, these strange little gifts are one of the clearest ways it tries to prove that. The difference between a gift and a message. One of the most fascinating things about cats is that they rarely repeat behaviors without emotional meaning attached to them. And this is exactly why experts say owners should pay attention not only to the fact that their cat brings objects, but also to what the cat chooses to bring. Because according to researchers in feline behavior, the object itself may reveal a hidden emotional intention most people completely miss. To humans, a sock is just a sock. A toy is just a toy. A dead insect is simply something unpleasant your cat dragged into the house. But cats do not experience objects the same way humans do. Cats associate objects with stimulation, territory, scent, emotional memory, and interaction. That means every gift may carry a completely different meaning depending on what was brought and where it was left. This is where the behavior becomes much deeper than people imagine. For example, specialists observed that cats often bring soft objects during moments of emotional comfort and attachment. Blankets, stuffed toys, socks, fabric pieces, or clothing with human scent are commonly associated with security and bonding behavior. Your scent becomes emotionally regulating to your cat, especially during quiet or vulnerable moments. That is why some cats steal clothes directly from laundry baskets and drag them into sleeping areas. To the cat, the object may represent emotional closeness more than simple play. Other cats behave very differently. Some cats intentionally steal objects they know will attract your attention. Hair ties, pens, headphones, paper, or anything they frequently see you touching suddenly disappears and reappears somewhere obvious. Researchers explain that intelligent and socially engaged cats often learn which objects create interaction with humans. In those cases, the gift is less about instinct and more about emotional engagement. Your cat may have learned that bringing certain things creates eye contact, conversation, movement, or attention. And, for many cats, attention itself becomes rewarding. Then there are the moments owners never forget, when a cat brings an insect, a bird feather, or even a small prey animal directly into the house. This behavior tends to shock people emotionally because it feels so intense and primitive. But experts explain that this may come from an ancient instinctive pattern connected to sharing, social learning, and hunting completion rituals. What matters is not only the prey itself, it is where your cat decides to leave it. Researchers noticed that cats often place these objects in emotionally important locations. Beside the bed, near shoes, next to couches, or directly in pathways humans use every day. These areas are strongly connected to scent and emotional familiarity. Your cat is not simply discarding the object. Your cat is intentionally connecting the object to your presence. And then, there are favorite toys. This is one of the clearest emotional signals of all. When a cat repeatedly brings the same favorite toy to a human, specialists believe the behavior often reflects trust and social connection. The toy itself carries emotional stimulation, excitement, and comfort. By bringing it to you, your cat may be attempting to involve you inside an activity that feels emotionally important. In some cases, cats even vocalize while carrying these objects because the emotional intensity of the interaction increases. Scientists observed that cats frequently use sound differently during socially meaningful behaviors. Your cat is not simply transporting something across the house. Your cat is announcing the interaction, and perhaps the most emotional detail is this. Many cats continue repeating the exact same object rituals for years. The same toy, the same location, the same timing. Behavioral specialists explain that repetition creates emotional stability for cats. Rituals become predictable forms of communication inside their environment. That means what looks random to you may actually be one of the most consistent emotional patterns in your cat's entire life. The object may seem meaningless in human eyes, but to your cat, the choice was probably never random at all. The strange look they give you after dropping it? There is one moment in this entire behavior that reveals more than the object itself ever could. It happens right after your cat drops the gift near you. Most owners focus only on what the cat brought, but specialists in feline behavior explain that the real message often appears seconds later, in the way the cat looks at you afterward. You have probably seen it before without realizing how important it was. Your cat places something on the floor and suddenly stops moving. It stares directly at your face. Sometimes the ears point forward with complete attention. Sometimes the tail remains raised while the cat watches silently. Other times, the cat looks back and forth between you and the object, almost as if waiting for something specific to happen. That reaction is not random. Researchers studying feline communication discovered that cats observe human facial expressions and body language far more carefully than people assume. Cats learn emotional patterns through repetition. They recognize tone changes, eye movement, posture, and even subtle shifts in attention. Over time, your cat begins predicting how you usually react to certain behaviors. And when your cat brings you something, it is often already expecting an emotional response. This changes the entire meaning of the interaction, because suddenly, the behavior stops looking like simple instinct and starts looking much more like social communication. Some specialists describe this as a ritualized interaction. Your cat performs an action, pauses, and waits for emotional feedback. In the feline mind, your reaction becomes part of the experience itself. That is why many cats seem unusually attentive after dropping an object near their owner. They are reading you. Researchers observed that cats tend to remain physically close during emotionally significant interactions. When a cat trusts someone deeply, it often monitors their reactions with intense focus. This is especially true in moments involving food, play, protection, or social rituals. And, strangely enough, gift-giving appears to activate many of these same emotional mechanisms. That explains why some cats appear excited when owners react positively. A smile, gentle voice, eye contact, or playful response may reinforce the behavior emotionally. The cat begins associating the ritual with connection and interaction. But the opposite also happens. Behavior specialists notice that some cats show visible hesitation or confusion after negative reactions. If the owner yells, immediately throws the object away, or pushes the cat aside, the animal may freeze, lower its posture, or quietly walk away. Cats are extremely sensitive to emotional rejection, especially during behaviors connected to trust and social engagement. And most people never realize their cat may have interpreted that moment emotionally. Imagine trying to share something important with someone you trust, only to feel ignored the second you do it. Cats may not experience emotions exactly like humans, but researchers explain that social disappointment and emotional withdrawal absolutely exist in feline behavior. This is why the stare matters so much. Your cat is not only watching your physical reaction, your cat is trying to understand the emotional meaning behind it. Some cats even repeat the behavior multiple times if they feel the interaction was incomplete. They bring the object back again after it is moved. They place it closer to you. They vocalize louder. They wait longer. Experts explain that persistent repetition often indicates the cat is strongly motivated by the social aspect of the ritual. And once you notice this pattern, it becomes impossible to ignore. Because suddenly, that strange silent stare no longer feels empty. It feels intentional, almost like your cat is asking a question without words, waiting to see whether you truly understood what it was trying to share with you. Why some cats bring things at night? For many cat owners, this behavior becomes even stranger after the lights go out. The house is completely silent. Everyone is asleep. Then suddenly, somewhere in the dark, your cat starts moving through the hallway carrying something in its mouth. Sometimes you hear soft footsteps. Sometimes a toy scraping across the floor. Some cats even vocalize loudly in the middle of the night before dropping an object near the bed, almost as if they intentionally waited for that exact moment. And according to feline behavior specialists, that timing may not be accidental at all. Cats are naturally more active during twilight and nighttime hours. Researchers explain that the feline brain evolved around hunting patterns linked to low-light environments. Even domestic cats that have never hunted outside still experience bursts of instinctive alertness during the night. Their senses become more active, their attention sharpens. Movement, sound, and emotional awareness intensify during these quiet hours. That alone already changes behavior. But there is another emotional layer most people never think about. At night, the entire emotional atmosphere inside the home changes for your cat. The noise disappears. Human movement slows down. The environment feels calmer, quieter, and more emotionally predictable. Specialists observed that many cats become more socially expressive during nighttime because the environment finally feels safe enough for vulnerable behaviors to emerge. And this may explain why some cats choose the middle of the night to bring objects directly to their owners. During the day, your cat competes with distractions: phones, conversations, movement, television, doors opening, people walking through the house. But at night, your presence becomes emotionally clearer to your cat. You are still, quiet, vulnerable, resting in one place for hours. Researchers studying feline attachment noticed that many cats monitor their owners more closely during sleep than humans realize. Some sit beside the bed, watching quietly. Others sleep near the feet, chest, or pillow area, because physical proximity during vulnerable moments strengthens emotional security inside feline social behavior. So when your cat brings something to your bed at night, the action may carry far more emotional meaning than people assume. Your cat is choosing the moment when connection feels strongest. And there is something even more fascinating about nighttime behavior. Specialists explain that many cats enter heightened emotional states during nocturnal activity because instinct and social attachment overlap more intensely at night. The hunting drive becomes active, while emotional bonding behaviors also increase due to the calm environment. This creates powerful rituals that may feel mysterious from a human perspective. That is why some cats vocalize differently during nighttime gift-giving. The sounds are often deeper, louder, or more repetitive. Researchers believe these vocalizations may function as social calls connected to excitement, communication, or Your cat is not simply wandering around with a toy. Something emotionally important is happening in that moment. And this is why many owners wake up to objects carefully placed near their bed almost every morning. A toy near the pillow, a sock beside the blanket, a random object left exactly where the owner will notice it first. Cats are highly observant animals. Over time, they learn routines, emotional patterns, and locations strongly associated with human attention. Your bed is not just furniture to your cat. It is one of the most emotionally significant places inside the house because it carries your scent, your vulnerability, and your constant presence. To your cat, leaving something there may feel deeply personal. And perhaps this explains why nighttime gifts often feel strangely emotional even when owners cannot explain why. Because in the silence of the night, when the world becomes quieter, your cat may feel closest to the instincts and emotional bonds it normally hides during the day. When the gifts become more frequent, some cat owners notice something strange over time. The behavior does not stay constant. There are periods when the cat barely brings anything at all, and then suddenly, the gifts become frequent. Toys start appearing everywhere. Objects are left near the bed almost every night. Socks disappear from one room and reappear in another. The cat seems more persistent, more focused on creating these interactions. And, according to specialists in feline behavior, those changes may reveal emotional shifts happening inside your cat long before humans notice them. Cats are deeply sensitive to environmental and emotional changes. Researchers explain that even small disruptions inside the home can affect feline behavior in powerful ways. A new work schedule, less time spent together, moving furniture, changes in sleeping routines, stress, tension between people in the house, or even emotional distance from the owner may subtly impact the cat's sense of security. The problem is that cats rarely express emotional discomfort in obvious ways. Instead, they often communicate through behavior. This is why some experts believe an increase in gift-giving may sometimes represent an attempt to restore emotional connection. Think about it from the cat's perspective. Your routine suddenly changes. You leave home more often. You stop spending as much time interacting. Maybe you seem distracted, stressed, emotionally unavailable, or physically distant. Humans often assume cats do not care about these things because cats appear independent on the surface. But studies about feline attachment show the opposite. Cats form emotional routines around people they trust. And when those routines change, the cat notices immediately. Researchers observed that some cats increase attention-seeking behaviors during periods of emotional uncertainty. Some become more vocal, others follow their owners from room to room. Some sleep closer than usual, and others begin bringing objects more frequently, almost as if trying to restart interaction through familiar rituals. That repetition is important. Behavior specialists explain that repetition creates emotional stability for cats. Predictable social rituals help reduce uncertainty and reinforce feelings of safety. So when your cat repeatedly brings objects to you during stressful periods, the behavior may not be random instinct alone. It may be emotional reassurance. And this becomes even more noticeable in cats strongly attached to one specific person. Scientists studying feline bonding observed that emotionally attached cats often react intensely to separation or routine disruption. Even subtle changes can trigger behavioral shifts. Some cats wait near doors longer, others spend more time inside rooms carrying the owner's scent, and some begin bringing objects to emotionally important places more frequently than before. Your cat may not understand why your behavior changed, but your cat absolutely feels that something is different. And perhaps the most emotional part of all is this: many cats perform these rituals quietly, without demanding attention directly. They simply leave something behind and wait. A toy beside your pillow, a sock near your chair, a small object placed where your eyes will eventually find it, almost like a silent attempt to reconnect. Researchers explain that cats often use indirect social behavior instead of confrontation. Unlike humans, cats rarely force emotional interaction aggressively. They create opportunities for connection through proximity, routine, scent, and shared experiences. That means these gifts may sometimes be less about the object itself and more about the cat asking for emotional closeness in the only language it truly understands. And once owners realize this, many begin noticing patterns they ignored for years. The behavior becomes stronger after long absences, more frequent during stressful periods, more emotional after changes inside the house. Suddenly, the gifts stop feeling random completely, because sometimes your cat is not simply bringing you objects. Sometimes, your cat is trying to bring the connection back. The biggest mistake owners make. One of the saddest parts of this behavior is that many cats are trying to create connection at the exact moment their owners unintentionally push them away. The cat walks proudly into the room carrying something in its mouth, drops it carefully near the human it trusts most, and instead of receiving curiosity or interaction, it is met with irritation, disgust, or rejection. And according to feline behavior specialists, cats often understand those reactions far more deeply than people realize. Most owners do not react negatively because they are cruel. They simply do not understand what the behavior means. Finding an insect on the floor, a dirty sock on the bed, or a toy dropped beside your face at 3 in the morning can feel annoying or even frustrating. So people instinctively respond by yelling, scolding, removing the object immediately, or pushing the cat away. But from the cat's perspective, something emotionally important may have just happened. Researchers explain that cats are highly sensitive to emotional tone and social tension. They constantly observe body language, voice intensity, facial expression, and movement. Even when they do not understand the exact reason behind a reaction, they absolutely detect emotional rejection. And this becomes especially powerful during behaviors connected to trust. Studies about feline attachment show that cats become emotionally vulnerable during social rituals. When a cat sleeps beside you, exposes its stomach, slow blinks at you, or brings objects directly into your personal space, the animal is displaying forms of trust that are not casually offered to every human. That means rejection during those moments may affect the cat emotionally. Some specialists observed that cats who repeatedly receive negative responses during gift-giving behaviors sometimes begin hesitating before approaching. Others stop bringing objects completely. Some quietly carry items away after sensing irritation from the owner. In emotionally sensitive cats, repeated rejection may even reduce social confidence over time. And most people never realize they may have unintentionally taught their cat that emotional interaction feels unsafe. This is what makes the situation so heartbreaking, because while the human sees a meaningless object, the cat may see a social offering. Imagine trying to share something with someone you trust, only to feel dismissed every single time you do it. Cats do not process emotions exactly like humans, but behavioral researchers explain that they absolutely associate experiences with emotional outcomes. A warm reaction reinforces connection, a hostile reaction creates hesitation, and cats remember emotional patterns remarkably well. That is why specialists often recommend something very simple. Do not focus only on the object. Focus on the intention behind the behavior. You do not need to pretend you love finding random things in your house. But your response matters more than most people understand. A calm voice, gentle acknowledgement, brief interaction, or soft redirection allows the cat to feel emotionally accepted without reinforcing unwanted habits negatively. Because, in many cases, your cat is not trying to annoy you. Your cat is trying to interact with you. Researchers observed that emotionally bonded cats often seek participation more than rewards themselves. The ritual matters because it creates connection. Your attention becomes part of the emotional experience. That is why some cats appear visibly excited after being acknowledged, even if the object itself is immediately removed afterward. What hurts the bond is not removing the object. It is making the cat feel emotionally rejected during the interaction. And perhaps this explains why some cats continue bringing gifts. For years, despite receiving almost no encouragement, something inside them still hopes the ritual will create closeness. The instinct to connect remains stronger than the fear of being ignored. Once people understand this, they stop seeing the behavior as annoying and start seeing it for what it may truly be. A quiet act of trust from an animal that cannot speak, yet still keeps trying to communicate emotionally every single day, what your cat really wants from you. After understanding all of this, most people begin asking the same question. If these gifts are not random, then what does the cat actually want in return? And surprisingly, the answer is usually much simpler and much more emotional than people expect. Your cat is not asking for perfection. Your cat is not expecting human words. And most of the time, your cat is not even focused on the object itself anymore. What your cat truly wants is recognition. Researchers studying feline attachment discovered that emotionally bonded cats constantly seek subtle forms of social reassurance from the humans they trust. Not through dramatic displays like dogs often do, but through quiet interactions, repeated rituals, shared spaces, and emotional predictability. Cats communicate through presence. That means when your cat brings something to you, the emotional reward is often the interaction that follows. A calm voice, eye contact, a soft reaction, a moment of attention. These tiny responses may seem insignificant to humans, but specialists explain that cats build emotional security through repeated micro-interactions over time. In other words, your cat is not measuring love through grand gestures. Your cat is measuring safety through consistency. This is why emotionally healthy cats often create personal rituals with their favorite humans. Some wait by the door every day at the same time. Some sleep beside one specific person every night. Others bring toys repeatedly to the same location, almost like a tradition only the two of you understand. Researchers explain that rituals help cats strengthen emotional bonds because predictable interactions reduce stress and increase feelings of trust. And this is where many owners suddenly realize something emotional. Their cat was never simply being weird. Their cat was trying to maintain connection. Specialists also observed that cats often become emotionally calmer when owners respond gently to social behaviors. Even small acknowledgments can reinforce emotional stability. A soft voice telling the cat, "I see you," a brief moment of play, a relaxed tone instead of frustration. These reactions help the cat feel socially accepted inside the environment, and acceptance matters deeply to cats. Despite their independent reputation, cats are highly sensitive to emotional atmosphere. They notice tension, distance, unpredictability, and emotional withdrawal quickly. Studies suggest that bonded cats often adapt their behavior based on the emotional energy of the humans around them. That means your cat may already know when you are sad, stressed, distant, or emotionally unavailable long before you say a single word. And sometimes, these strange little gifts become one of the ways your cat tries to reconnect with you emotionally. Not because your cat understands human problems intellectually, but because attachment creates behavioral responses. Cats seek proximity, rituals, and interaction when emotional connection feels uncertain. This is why some cats become more affectionate during difficult periods in their owner's life. They sleep closer, follow more often, vocalize differently, bring objects more frequently. Experts explain that emotionally attached cats often respond to emotional changes through increased social behavior. And perhaps the most beautiful part of all is this: your cat does not need a perfect response from you. It only needs to feel emotionally safe approaching you. That safety becomes the foundation of trust. Once a cat feels emotionally accepted, the behaviors become softer, calmer, and more meaningful over time. The house stops feeling like shared territory and starts feeling like shared emotional space. And maybe this is what most people misunderstand about cats completely. Cats do not always express love loudly. Sometimes they express it through tiny rituals, repeated so quietly, so consistently, that humans spend years overlooking them without realizing they were moments of connection all along. You were never just a human to your cat. After understanding all of this, those strange little objects scattered around your house stop looking meaningless. The toy beside your bed no longer feels random. The sock left in the hallway feels different. Even the moments that once seemed annoying suddenly carry another emotional weight entirely. Because maybe your cat was never simply carrying objects from one place to another. Maybe your cat was trying to communicate something that humans almost never notice. Researchers who study feline behavior explain that cats live in a world built around instinct, scent, emotional safety, territory, and silent rituals. Unlike humans, cats do not use language to explain attachment. They build connection through repeated behaviors, predictable routines, physical proximity, and emotional association. And once a cat emotionally bonds with someone, those instincts begin shaping the relationship in quiet but powerful ways. That is why your cat watches you so closely. Why it waits near doors. Why it sleeps beside you during vulnerable moments. Why it follows you into certain rooms. And sometimes, why it carries objects directly into your personal space, as if the interaction itself matters more than the object being carried. Because, to your cat, it probably does. Scientists observed that emotionally attached cats often create unique social rituals reserved only for trusted humans. These rituals become part of the emotional structure of the relationship. They provide familiarity, reassurance, and connection inside the cat's world. And perhaps that is why so many owners describe the behavior as strangely emotional even before understanding it. Some part of them already sensed there was intention behind it. The truth is, your cat does not see those objects the same way you do. A toy may represent interaction. A sock may carry comfort through scent. A hunted insect may activate ancient instincts tied to sharing and social behavior. A repeated ritual may become your cat's way of maintaining emotional closeness without needing words. And the most fascinating part is that your cat keeps doing it even without knowing whether you fully understand. That alone says something powerful about trust, because trust is extremely important to cats. Specialists explain that cats are naturally cautious animals. They do not expose vulnerability carelessly. They do not create emotional routines with everyone. When a cat repeatedly approaches you, sleeps near you, watches your reactions carefully, and includes you inside instinctive behaviors, the animal is quietly treating you as part of its emotional world, not just as someone who provides food, not just as another creature inside the house. but as someone emotionally significant. And maybe that is why these small moments affect people so deeply once they finally understand them. Suddenly, the behavior no longer feels strange, it feels personal. The object itself was never the real message. The message was hidden inside the act of bringing it to you. Inside the waiting, inside the stare afterward, inside the repeated ritual happening over days, months, or even years. Your cat may never speak your language, it may never explain emotions the way humans do, but behavioral experts believe cats communicate constantly through actions, patterns, and emotional habits. And perhaps one of the clearest signs of all is this silent desire to share part of their world with someone they trust. So, the next time your cat leaves something near you, pauses, and looks directly into your eyes, you may see the moment differently. Because maybe your cat is not simply bringing you random things. Maybe your cat is quietly saying, in the only language it knows, that you matter far more to it than you ever imagined.